Well, I started in the advertising business, and I started an advertising agency that promoted Las Vegas, became one of the larger ones in the Southwest United States, R&R Advertising. It still promotes Las Vegas today. So all the ads you see for the city come from that company. I sold it to the employees a few years ago.
So I'm an attorney in town. I've been in Nevada since 1995, originally from New York. Did my undergraduate studies at University of Rochester, graduate studies Syracuse University College of Law. Worked for intern for the New York Supreme Court and the New York Court of Appeals before coming out to Las Vegas in 1995.
So just after graduation from law school in Europe, in Italy, I came to this country to go to graduate school. I went to Northwestern Kellogg. I did a master's in business law. And after graduation from my master's, I went to work on Wall Street. I worked for several years for one of the mutual funds.
I worked in political campaigns around the country from time to time. I wrote speeches, for politicians while I was in college. And it evolved, and I went to Washington, D.C., and I was one of the 3 directors that oversaw the campaign for Ronald Reagan for president in 1984. The Tuesday team, we called it. And we created Morning and Again in America, which you might recall. And so we won a lot of awards, and we won 49 states. So it turned out pretty well.
I'm primarily a trial lawyer. I'm a litigator. I have been litigating since 1995 when I came into town after 2 internships with district court judges. In 2013, I was involved with the legislative initiative as it related to medical marijuana in the state of Nevada.
In about 2006, I went on my own. The Kaufman Fund was sold to Federated Investors, and I went on my own and I opened my first restaurant. It was an idea on a napkin in the Venetian Hotel. It was a 24,000 square feet restaurant with 155 employees. From there, I went on and had restaurants and clubs around the world. I opened a 56,000 square feet club in Macau, China, in Macau, in the Galaxy, in one of the major hotels. It was the most successful club in Asia.
As time went on, President Bush asked me to come back and be his advertising director for president in 1988, which I did. I took time off. And then I met him later, and he asked me to come in the White House as an assistant to the president. I put my company in a blind trust. I moved into the West Wing of the White House, not far from the president's office, and my job was to create and oversee new initiatives and travel with the president wherever he went. So I was blessed to have been able to fly with Ronald Reagan and film and produce and do commercials for him. And I was equally blessed to be with George Bush and travel to close to 50 countries and all 50 states, I believe, and maybe 200 or 300 cities, probably 1 million miles on Air Force One, and later I served as a U.S. ambassador to Iceland, where I was born, and I'm a naturalized citizen. So I went back for a short period until the president called me back again to help in the campaign.
So I'm very familiar with the legislative initiative. Back then, it was created by the legislative branch. NRS 453A was the original creation of marijuana, medical marijuana in the state of Nevada. Since that time, I've been actively engaged with the legislature in moving towards recreational marijuana and the initiative that was on the ballot in 2016.
I had restaurants in Aruba, Curacao, San Martin, Miami, Palm Beach, Key Biscayne, New York, and Las Vegas. Las Vegas was my home base for 10 years.
My original involvement with Qualcan was as an attorney. I was a lawyer for Lorenzo Baracco in a number of his previous business endeavors.
I'm a director in the company. My job is really to let others know about what a great company I think this could be. Actually, what a great company it is now. They run it well, and that's probably one of the main reasons why I got involved with them.
When the medical marijuana legislation came into play, I sat down with him and told him about the possible opportunities that would exist in the state of Nevada as it related to marijuana. It wasn't the recreational initiative at the time, but we felt that getting in early in the medical program would ultimately result in some benefit if and when there was a ballot initiative, which in 2016 there was. It was a closed system, so that means that nobody outside who wasn't already a licensee under the medical program would be able to participate in recreational. So my involvement with Qualcan was as a lawyer during the period of licensing during the medical marijuana legislation.
We put together a team, we put together an application, and when we obtained the licenses, because my core restaurants were in casino holdings with federal regulations, we decided to divest and sell the restaurants. We sold back the lease to the Venetian. We divested from all the restaurants. Either we sold them or we divested them, and we focused and concentrated just on the marijuana business.
I think what Michael and Lorenzo brought to the table and the way they run the business and the innovations that they've produced, within the framework of their own company is what enticed me the most to come with them.